Hello and welcome to the 7th round of the Skill Issue Fantasy Series 2021. We're in Spa this time, the best circuit on the planet. Not a lot to go over here, nothing really has changed since the last one. It's still Verstappen, Bottas, Hamilton 1, 2, 3. I'm still in 7th place in the driver standings. Let's go right onto that hot lap. So the big difference this year as opposed to the previous season is that Spa is earlier in the calendar and therefore it is not autumn like it was last time I was here. Also, there's no rain because I didn't realize at the time, but I set every session to have just the perfect weather. Unfortunately, I didn't catch that until the previous race. So we're here more than a third of the way into the season. I just got to ride it out. A little unrealistic, but then again, so is the fact that I am a driver in any championship series of any format. So hey, you know what? We're just going to roll with it. Strategy, same as ever. Nothing to talk about there. Just going to enjoy the hot lap and get back to talking once the results are in.
Just done a 143.74. The leader has just done a 142.46.
So it is Lewis Hamilton taking pole, Max Verstappen taking P2, and surprisingly, Pierre Gasly taking the 3rd spot. A little more surprisingly is Stroll and Vettel both in the top 10 for the first time. I myself am in P9 and I'm at a disadvantage on this track because to compensate for some of the areas where I was sliding out on the back end, I've had to up the downforce on the rear wing, which will make me slower, and on the very long straight that happens in the first sector, that's a massive disadvantage. So what I'm really hoping for here, even though I've come in P9, is that I'm going to finish in the points. The podiums were nice, but it's not very realistic for my own skill level. So I'm happy where I'm at, just going to try and finish the race in the top 10.
All right, the big ragu, get ready. Go.
So it is 5 green lights and a surprisingly decent start off the line for me in particular as we head towards the first turn. The hairpin gaining a position, actually making it 2, going up to P7 behind the 2 Aston Martins ahead of me as we head downhill. Eau Rouge and Radion coming up ahead. There's not really a lot of fighting opportunities, so really what I'm trying to do, tuck in behind the slipstream, and I'm losing pace, losing a bit of distance, but that's okay. We know everyone's going to bunch up at the end of the straight. You can see the Mercedes behind me is trying to make a move, making some distance, but not quite enough. The Alpine parks behind him. Going into the right-left turns here. Not a lot of drama, not a lot of slippage, which is nice. That's the benefit of that extra downforce. And going downhill to the dangly bit of the track. Not a lot left to worry about here, just coasting around. Not quite close enough to make a move on the inside. Gonna make the left here. Not any extra distance made up on the Aston Martin, so I'm just going to stop yapping at you, let the rest of this lap play out. So as we are coming up towards the end of the circuit here, you can see I've been catching up to the back of the Aston Martins here, and as we come onto the big sweeping left, take the outside, trying to get to position, heading towards the bus stop, and I know that I can outbrake both of these cars. Gonna keep the inside line, keep it nice and tidy, box them out as we make the right, get some contact on the left because, you know, this is Automobilista 2, and come away in P5 at the end of lap 1, heading towards the hairpin, hoping for no contact. Just going to squeeze on the inside, box him out, and run away with P5 in lap 2. Unfortunately, that was all of the action for the next 6 laps. I made up a few more positions passing other cars in pits, but it was then my own time to get into the box at the end of lap number 7. More softs coming on, fresh boots. Going to see how the rest of this race unfolds.
Look out for the pit speed limit.
And the answer to how the rest of the race would unfold is pretty boring. We're now at the end of the second to last lap, about to start the final lap of the race, and the only thing that's happened is I caught up to this AlphaTauri. You can see we made some contact again because, you know, what game are we playing here? Gonna spend the last lap trying to make that position back and hopefully get P4 for the end. It was a long, slow race with not a lot of action, unfortunately. So I'm just going to let the rest of the lap play out here and get back to you with the results.
Left side, clear left. Good pass. That's the finish. Well done.
So that is the tale of the race. Not a lot of action going around for anyone, really. Lewis Hamilton wins the race, Max Verstappen P2, Charles Leclerc P3, and I myself am best of the rest. Now, as for the driver standings here, Max Verstappen still leading the championship. Lewis Hamilton jumps over his teammate to take P2, Valtteri Bottas in 3rd, Charles Leclerc 4th in the championship, and I myself in P5. Great place to be. Not super sure how it's going to go because the next track is Spielberg. It's much shorter. There's a lot more action to go around, and I can't just coast the way I did at Spa. But hopefully the next race is more exciting. It'd be nice if something happened. Won't know until we know though. So, bye.